Hello again and welcome to the Goal Zone with me, Tom Ross, and me two pals, the former Villa midfielder Ian Taylor, former Blues and Baggies midfielder Darren Carter. And boy, plenty to chew the fat about tonight, guys. The playoffs, Aston Villa and Coventry, of course. West Brom end the Premier League season with defeat, but who'll get the job? And who should get the job is a big question. And back to the playoffs, because I want to shoot the breeze about whether or not the playoffs have made the game more exciting, or more exciting but less fair. And should there be relegation playoffs? Who was your team's player of the season? So much to get through. So let's kick it off with Villa against Borough. Villa 1, Borough 0. Amazing result, wasn't it? To come back from an away game at Middlesbrough 1-0 tails.
Great result, Tom. I thought the team were superb. Alan Hutton in particular. I think Brucey got it spot on as well with the game plan. He went there just thinking, all right, we'll stay deep, because we did play deep, virtually on the edge of our box.
Snorkels.
Yeah, there were fans behind me saying, get out, but you know why they were staying deep. And if the manager's got a game plan like that, for them not to get in behind, then it worked perfectly. We worked on Traore not getting the ball and not having a run.
Hutton did a brilliant job on him.
Superb.
And when he swapped wings, he followed him.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant. Because he just got in his head as well. So, he tried Traore, but he's trying too much in the end, trying to take on 2-3 players.
Is he the brightest?
No.
He's not, is he?
No.
Because I have to say, if there wasn't advertising hoardings, he'd probably run down the other end of Middlesbrough town centre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He just tried the same thing every time he got the ball. Exactly. He tried to take on one, then another, and
he's
never
got great
really
feet,
got
by the way.
He has got great, and he's so quick.
Or rapid.
But we never ever let him get going.
Yeah.
Do you know
to
what
be
I
fair
mean?
as well, he can hurdle.
he had to on Saturday.
that's always a worry.
But no, Alan Hutton was superb.
But you've been in the playoffs. You know.
Yeah, I've been in them.
You've
as
been
well.
in them.
Yeah.
You've been in them.
Yeah.
To get an away result, a win. You'd have took a draw before the start to get a win.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And we were speaking before, weren't we? Brucey, he's probably one of the best at them sort of games. Away from home, you're up against it. You've got to sort of set out a game plan, execute it. And like you say, Tales, it was a great result. Exactly, what the Villa fans would have wanted, exactly what Brucey would have wanted, and puts you in pole position now. Home game, packed house at Villa Park.
I've got to say, I was at a do-on for Help Harry Help Others are raising money at Gary Horsbury, Gary Horsbury, big box holder at Villa. And a Villa fan collared me. I was talking to him and he went, "We were rubbish." I went, "What?" He didn't use the word rubbish, but you can imagine.
Yeah.
He went, "Rubbish." I went, "I don't get you." He went, "Second half, never won any second balls, never did this, never did that." I said, "You won the game. You won the game."
I had one or two on Twitter saying that, I said it was a great team performance.
And you're right,
and we did the job, stuck to the game plan like I just described. And they were saying, but we were rubbish. You know what I mean? And they actually said, "What game were you watching?" And there's more. How many ways are there to win a football match?
Yeah.
Loads
of ways to win a football match. And like you say,
But the end result is winning it, and you won it.
End result is winning it. If
you could have had 95% possession, won all the second balls, and lost 2-0. What? I don't get
who cares?
Yeah, exactly,
I couldn't care less if we had 1%. Do you know what I mean?
won
But
the
if we
game.
win the game, it doesn't matter. Performance goes out the window.
Isn't it amazing that every fan will say, all that matters is winning, but when you win, they'll find a reason to moan about something. Some of them.
There's always one or two, isn't there?
Yeah, so I think Villa, I thought they were excellent. I know they're defending this. Listen, Middlesbrough are neck and neck with you in the Championship after 46 games. They're a good side. They've got a tough manager, a tough top manager. Yeah. For goodness sake.
We had to withstand long...
They were going to have spells, weren't they? They were going to have spells.
Long throws, corners, the lot.
I'll pose the question to them fans and say, well, here's one for you. Would you take two of them performances to get into the Premier League?
Absolutely.
All day long.
And if they said no, then that's just farcical.
Well, the question we asked was, how confident are you now that Villa will reach the final? Now. So have a look at the poll. There you go. On not very, right? Not very.
Wow.
47% very. But on Twitter, 50% say you'll win, 35% lose, 50% draw. But the draw's good. Anyway, if it was a draw, it would make no difference. Through.
Yeah.
But very, very different. And I don't know. It seems to me that you've only lost twice at home all season. Nobody's lost fewer games than Villa. Why on earth wouldn't you be confident?
I think there'll be one or two fans thinking, you know, we have dropped one against some of the so-called lesser sides at home,
and that's
what they'll be looking at. But Tom, you know what fans are like. They're more pessimistic than anybody. They'll be looking at the games that we lost instead of the games that we've won.
Absolutely. Well, those are the polls, and we had over 1,000 votes. Have a look at the comments. Some of the comments from Villa fans. Let's have a little look at some of the comments. Remember the question: how confident are you? Worried, Tom. They were much better than us. We got lucky. That's Ken Moore. And Ken, to be fair, I've known Ken. He's rung me for 30 years. He hated Peter Schmeichel. I don't know why, just hated him. But anyway, Gavin McKenna says, got lucky, right so. Might as well grab a Borough shirt for Tuesday with that attitude. You make your own luck. So he's having a pop at Ken, and he's right. You know.
It's the way... Cards, you'll know. It's the way you approach the game. We approach the game wanting to be solid and catching them on the break or maybe a set piece. We weren't at home. You expect them to come on to you and you want to keep it tight. You don't go out all guns blazing and leave yourselves wide open. Yeah. And that is definitely...
You weren't playing Halifax, by the way. You're playing a very good team.
Yeah. So, and that was what Brucey wanted, to keep it tight, keep a clean sheet more than anything.
I tell you, there isn't a Villa fan wouldn't have taken a draw at the start of the game.
Oh, tell me about it.
Would you?
No, tell me about it.
Turn it into a one-legged game. Yeah.
But you have to approach the game in the right way. You can't go gung-ho into games thinking, we'll score 3 goals away from home against a good Middlesbrough side.
Before the first leg, I did a poll on Twitter that said, will Villa reach the final? Have a look at this. Have a look at this poll. Before the first leg, I did this well before the first leg, and said, have a look at exactly, will Villa reach the final? Over 1,000 votes, 57% no. That was before. There should be nobody now that as confident now. There should be really confident. I think I can't see how they're not confident.
I think the thing is
cautiously confident, but confident nonetheless.
But we've said it all season. You know, that Villa squad and your Terrys, your Snodgrass, Chesters,
been there, done it.
Yeah, Whelan. You know, even the players that have been on the bench now, and they're all going to play a part. But we always say every year, and we've been part of it. Playoffs are a different ball game. They're one-off games. We're going to talk about it in a little while. If you finish 6th, like Derby have finished 13 points behind Fulham. Yeah, they've beat them in the first leg, got a chance of going through tonight. They're one-off games, and you need big game players. Now, out of the 4 teams in the playoffs, Villa have got by far more experience in big games, in finals. So, I mean, why would you back against them?
You look at Fulham. Everybody thought they were unstoppable a couple of weeks ago. And they go and lose.
Well, stop that run.
Well, but that's what happens. But seriously, they're a game away, Tom, from going into the Premier League.
£100 million and that defeat cost them.
And they bottle it. Do you know what I mean? So that tells you something about Fulham. Then they go to Derby and lose.
So maybe they haven't got the big game. Maybe they're feeling a bit of nerves.
Maybe they've not got the big game mentality.
And you talked about Hutton and Traore. Let me tell you, Wes Harding, he's only played 9 games this season, sawed off Sessegnon.
Because he's gone into the game with the right attitude, not being scared of Sessegnon, and giving it a right go. And he's a proper, defending. It's a lost art, isn't it?
Absolutely lost art. Yeah. Well, the art of tackling, it's rare now, isn't it, to see proper tackling. Unlike Tranmere in the National League, 43
I wish I'd have
seconds,
seen that tackle.
43 seconds.
That's got to be a record.
To be fair, the referee didn't even bother. The kid never went off. Gone.
He just walked.
He just gone.
You talk about first tackle, let him know you're here.
But it's important. You were on about
knowing more.
You were on about I think who is it from Middlesbrough? Kevin McDonald been on Twitter having a pop.
Fulham.
Having a pop, and all of a sudden Derby will be thinking, "You've just done our team tour."
Exactly. Yeah.
But you can't be out when you wind people up in the dressing room. You have to be careful they don't lose it because they had to play Tranmere. And you've played against them this year. I saw you play the one game against them. Yeah. They were, they've had to play 89 minutes with 10 men and still got through.
Still won,
It's got to be channeled aggression, Tom.
Let's turn to Coventry. 1-1, disappointing.
It is after you see the penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What unbelievable decision.
But the pitch didn't help them.
The pitch surprised me.
Well, they play rugby on it.
Yeah,
every
as soon
week.
as I seen it, and I thought, it's crazy that a pitch. And I know we've had a little bit of rain, fair enough, but
you never get
for it
that
to be
in
that,
it was almost
never get that in May.
It was almost a throwback, wasn't it?
Yeah. But like you say, Tom, they've salvaged something from the game, and that bit of fortune at the end of the game, is that going to be enough then in the second leg to take them through? But Notts County, in all fairness to them, I thought were the better side. But it's finally poised.
It's all to play for, isn't it? Well, good luck to Coventry, because it's a club I like, Coventry, if I'm honest. They've been through a tough old time.
Yeah, be great to see them go
with the
up.
owners.
Yeah.
Just to get one division higher, it begins the process of getting back. So good luck to Coventry. Let's move on to the playoffs. Have the playoffs made the game more exciting? I'm sure most people will say yes. But I'm asking the question, have they made them more exciting but less fair?
I hate them.
Do you really?
Only because Garts has done it as well. We've got personal experience of the playoffs, and I've been on the wrong end
And
of
so,
the playoffs.
so has Blues.
So
didn't they?
So in that sense, when you finish, when I was at Port Vale, we finished. I don't know. It must have been over 10 points ahead of West Brom. We lost to in the playoff final. And we were second most of the season, slipped into the playoffs the last few games, and then lost in the playoffs. Had a man sent off after 20 minutes, which killed the game, and we lost 3-0. Yet we knew we were a better team because we beat them twice during the season. Do you know what I mean? So that's
hard to take.
That is hard to take when you've beaten the opposite team twice.
There's a lot of people do think it should be 3 up, 3 down. But I understand they're trying to keep the season exciting to the end. And to be fair, in the Championship it was, wasn't it?
For the fans, it's great, isn't it? It does keep it
Unless
going.
you're in there.
Unless
you're in there.
I just love the dynamic of it all. Now, for instance,
dynamic of it all. He's been on a coaching course.
That's it.
I've just read my notes.
It's all the key words. I've got to get them all in.
You got the buzzwords.
But for now, you look at it, and like I said, Fulham have finished 13 points above Derby. They could have gone up automatically on the last day. All of a sudden, their mindset then is, but the expectation on Fulham to go up is all of a sudden there. Whereas Derby is, okay, well, we're the underdogs. Yeah, exactly. Let's go and have a go. And
so is that fair that Derby, 13 points behind, over 46 games, go up? Maybe go up.
Well, we all know the rules. Everybody knows the rules.
I get that. You know the rules
beforehand. You've got to handle it, haven't you? Fulham knew that if they were going to be in the playoffs, that's the way it would have gone.
But if I'd finished third, 1 point off second,
it is a killer.
I would be, and I'd beaten the top 2 teams twice.
It is a killer.
I would be gutted.
But you've got at the start of the season, you've got your aims, and some clubs genuinely say, well, playoffs. We want to make the playoffs. They know the points
That's
total.
their aim.
Exactly. They want to get to that points total.
Like in the Premier League, it's finishing 17th.
Yeah, but that's it.
Let's have a look. That was the question. Have they made the game more exciting or more exciting but less fair? Have a look at what the polls on social media said. 70% more exciting, 30% more exciting but unfair. 63 and 37, so not too far away from either. I suppose really it is more exciting.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But as I said, if you're the one that's so far ahead and you don't go up, and you know that had the rules been like they were, you'd have gone up. It must be.
But I think
so. It all comes down to one game.
Yeah, but I think if you're a Fulham, for instance, and you've got to sort of dust yourself down and go again, and you do it through the playoffs.
That's the best way to do it if you can.
Yeah,
if you can,
it's even better than finishing second.
If you're guaranteed,
you get a trophy. You get a trophy in the
middle.
medal.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So finish
the. Well, if we get to Wembley, we go up them steps. We've had a better experience than the second place team.
Yeah, exactly.
But I tell you what, in terms of stress levels, you'd rather be mowing the lawn. You'd rather be mowing the lawn and watching it.
Yeah, I know.
However, if somebody said we can guarantee you're going through the playoffs, going up, you take that because it's a fabulous night.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, I'll never forget the millennium.
Yeah.
And neither will you.
Yeah.
Even though you're not on the team picture. He was too busy talking to me. Missed the team picture.
Yeah, well done, Tom.
Still owes me for that.
You owe him.
Still owe me.
Have a look at some comments about that very question. There you go. Everyone knows the rules at the start of the season, so it's not unfair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You all know the rules.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
I
I get that. Yes, I get that. But I'm saying should the rules be different, maybe. But have a look what others say. That's from Andy. Chris Williams, 100% unfair. If you finish third over the course of a full season, you deserve to go up. You have one bad playoff game and all the hard work over the season has been a waste of time. That's a good point. James Cartwright, more exciting for a non-fan, but I think it's unfair for teams that finish higher. Isn't there like a 16-point gap between some of the teams in League One playoffs? And Brendan Fowler, I've always said the team that finishes third should go straight to the final. Imagine the scramble for third spot would create much more excitement.
Well, they've changed it now. I know the National League is the first time they've done it this year, and they've done pretty similar to what Brendan's saying there. Second and third go straight through to the semi-final, and then it's just one leg. So the second and third place teams play at home to get to Wembley. So they've switched it up to make it a little bit fairer for the teams finishing a little bit higher. But
so if the teams that finish higher get the home advantage.
Get the home advantage, and it's
a
one game. Yeah, but
that's better.
Yeah, it's better. But what I will say for the playoffs, say in the Championship, if you've got a team, if you say it's the top three, for instance, go up, then you've got 10th, 9th place teams, 8th place teams with about 5 or 6 games to go thinking, we're not going to make the playoffs. Their season's over with that amount of games to go. Whereas with this format, in 10th, you possibly still got a chance of getting in the playoffs.
But also, if you're in the playoffs, you might change the way you play to stay in the playoffs. And also, tactically, to finish third or fourth, you might want to finish third because you play the 6th rather than third. You know what I mean?
Definitely makes it more exciting.
So that one would make it far more exciting. John Maroney says, I don't think there should be playoffs, top 2, that's it. Anything below, obviously not good enough to go up. Thank you. He's a hard man, him, isn't he? He's a hard man, you are, John. Anthony Nick Britt, there's no fair play in football these days. Fans are being conned. Well, fair enough. You're not cynical? To be fair, it's hard to argue, if I'm honest. Hard to argue. Well, let's carry on with the playoff theme. Should there be relegation playoffs in the Premier League?
So third bottom plays
the 2 above.
2 above.
Or the 3 above over 4 over the same way.
I wouldn't go that way. I'd go what they do in Scotland, so the league below. So whoever finishes third in the league below.
So you're saying the team who finishes third in the Championship plays the
third bottom in the Premier League.
Or the losing playoff finalist plays them.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think that's a fairer way. You can't drag the two.
I think
teams.
Albion fans would agree with that. They didn't finish third bottom, did they?
But I think the 2 teams that finish in the Premier League, finishing them 4th from bottom, 5th from bottom, I think it's harsh over 38 games for them to survive, but then have to face another game to And you can argue, well, 5th from bottom could go down.
But then if you say it's all right for the promotion playoffs, it's got to be all right for relegation playoffs for me. Because you've just said you can finish 6th, 15 points behind, and get promoted. So it's got to be the same for the relegation.
I see what you're saying, Tom. With the Premier League, I think for you to finish 4th from bottom, especially
they wouldn't vote for it. That's for sure.
No, but if you're a Huddersfield or a Brighton,
and you finish 4th,
look how much it's meant to them as clubs, as fans.
To stay in there,
exactly. Yeah. So
for money.
But
have a look
that's why everybody wants to get in.
No, you're not. Well, should there be relegation playoffs in the Premier League? Have a look at the poll. There's our poll. I said the 3 clubs, third from bottom, play the 3 clubs above it, and the bottom 2 clubs automatically relegated. 25% said yes, but 75% said no relegation playoffs. But they want playoffs at the other end. I don't get that. There's no difference.
I suppose people see it as less important because it's the Championship, I suppose.
No, that's Premier League.
No, I mean, the other way.
Drop it out, yeah. Okay. Well, let's carry on talking about then. Should there be relegation playoffs? Well, firstly, let's have a look at some comments about the Premier League first. Let's have a look at some comments. There shouldn't be any playoff at all. Should be 3 up, 3 down without playoffs. Finishing 6 up, just for money makers for the FA and the Football League. Paul White, no, why? They've not been good enough all season. Win 1 game and stay up. Brilliant idea. Okay, Paul. So you've not been good enough to finish in the top 3. You finish 6th, but you get promoted for £100 million. Brilliant idea. Do you not think, Paul? Same thing.
What I mean. It works.
It's the same thing. It works both
well,
ways. Do we have any other comments? No. Let's talk about the relegation playoffs in the Championship. It's the same principle, but almost. Should there be relegation playoffs in the Championship? Let's look at the poll first of all. Let's have a little look what they said. In the Championship, should there be relegation playoffs for third from bottom? 16% yes, 84% no. Much more people say no. Much more people say no. They want it left as it is. But I just wonder whether it makes it fairer to have playoffs for relegation. You're not sure, are you?
I'm not sure. It's different, I think. I know what you're saying, but I think going down compared to going up, I think is just, if you don't go up, then you obviously stay in the same league, but it's not as a bigger downer as going down a division.
Could be in a different league if you finish sixth.
Yeah,
15 points behind the third place.
Yeah, but you're going up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
but it's still different league.
Yeah, I understand. It's just, I think you're giving, basically, do you want to give teams a second chance? And that's what I think a lot of grievances are on there from fans.
Promotion playoffs do.
Yeah, they're saying, why should teams who finish in the bottom three be given a second chance,
Why
basically?
should teams finish fourth, fifth and sixth? So would you have three up and three down?
Chances.
Would you have three up and three down?
I just think you have a whole season to do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Remember, would you have three up and three down? Then Sky have gone, haven't they? Because Sky TV would want games that matter, wouldn't they?
But I go back. I go back to what they're saying about top two go up. That's it. But fans have a moan at middle of the road teams who haven't got nothing to play for. If they're playing teams who are going for something, and like we said, 8 games to go, they've got nothing to play for because there's no playoffs. Then you'll have more of them teams going, well, we're not really bothered about the result. They can have big effects then on people going up and going down.
Nothing games.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
We've seen that this season.
Yeah.
Coventry and...
Morecambe. Yeah.
Like a testimonial, because they only needed a point each.
Yeah. But you'd have more of them teams that can't go either way. They're just in the middle of the table.
Yeah, you get more of those games.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some comments about that. Jonathan Ellie says, how about 18th in the Premier, play third in the Championship over 2 legs?
Yeah.
I like that.
I'd prefer that.
Yeah, I like that.
They do that in Scotland, don't they?
Yeah, I like that. I definitely... And I think we've got a few more as well to have a look at. No, well, let's... One of the things that stood out, wasn't this relegation playoffs before the Premier League started? Didn't they try it? I think they did, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
Years ago.
I don't know, Tom. Don't know.
You're going way
my memory's not that
way
good.
Before my time again.
To be fair, you better know what you had for breakfast. You better know what you had for breakfast.
Just making it up now on your cards.
No, I'm sure it was.
Born in the 80s, Tom, not the 60s.
Not the 1880s. What are you trying to say?
In the 60s.
Oh, sorry, mate.
He's just custard pie you there, isn't he?
I know he's a veteran of Tales, but...
Since he's become a vegan.
Big time, isn't
He is big time now. Big
Never.
time. I'll tell you in a bit about stealing a result from my team at the Nick Mole Cup.
I'm going to enjoy listening to that.
That will come shortly. But
for the 10th time.
So we'd be quite happy though for the third bottom to play the Championship. Third bottom.
Yeah.
Third in the
place,
league, yeah.
But
I'm not totally happy, but...
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing is, we can sit and chat about it. TV will decide what's best, won't they?
Yeah.
And TV will say, we're about ready to negotiate our new contract. We're not having that. And that's the end of it. Because anybody who thinks the FA runs the game's crackers. The FA Premier League run the game, and their bosses are TV.
But that's
£13 billion I'm putting in, I'll decide who
when
plays
you talk about it in that way, it extends the season, doesn't it? It gives more games on TV. That's what the excitement is. More games for people to watch.
More games for TV. That's why now I think we're in towards 48 teams going to be in the World Cup. We've got games coming out of our backside because TV want more games, especially for the foreign rights market. Yeah. They'll decide. So anybody who thinks get onto the FA don't count anymore.
No,
they'll make a decision about you've got to serve a 2-game ban. That's all they'll do. The reality is the FA Premier League decide, and their bosses, the paymasters, TV rights people, will decide. Because they won't turn down 13 billion quid, will they?
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't you? For the good of the game, you'd turn it down.
No, of course not, Tom.
You are a money man.
Of course not.
Why do you want another 13 billion? with your IT7 headphones that you're selling all over the place. Hey, we're the poorest to it, and I'm the poorest.
I'll send you some.
Thanks.
The violins out.
Let's turn to West Brom. Should Darren Moore be given the job as new head coach? This is a poll I put on social media. Have a look at the results.
Oh.
No danger.
Overwhelming, Tom.
Overwhelming. Still, the season's over. The club haven't said a word. And I worry. The longer it goes on, are worried about what they're going to do. Why would they be? Tell me why there would be any dilly-dallying at.
Well, I think the
Firstly, would you give it him?
Knowing Moro like we do, he's West Brom through and through, and what he's done in these, last 5-6 weeks, is incredible. I think at West Brom at the moment is, before they obviously got rid of Pardew, I think they had people in mind, and for them, they were obviously going to conduct these interviews, and then I don't think they expected obviously Moro to do as well as he has, and if anything, he's gave you an extra candidate. So it should be a good thing. But obviously the problem they've got now is did they have someone else in mind beforehand? Had they maybe promised it to someone? Or I say promised it to someone.
Somebody's just broke into your car, Taz.
Drop to them headphones, Taz.
Tom's just opened his wallet.
Hey, behave yourself. But seriously, though, it is a difficult thing, because I think he may have upset the apple cart by winning all the games.
I know, yeah.
That's it. I think
that's what Carts is saying.
It's just they've had a plan in place, and now all of a sudden that may have to change because of fans' demands.
Well, not just demands. He's earned the right, surely.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They're just the fans. I don't see what more Darren Moore
You
can
can't do any more, Tom. You can't do any more. I mean, I've heard on the grapevine that the man at Brentford,
Dean Smith,
that Dean Smith's one of the candidates, and that Moro would be his assistant. But,
ain't going to work.
But
he won't go anywhere without Richard O'Kelly.
I've got no idea whether Moro actually wants the job or not.
Yeah.
But if you did want the job, you can't do any more.
Well, I think, listen, West Brom are going to put themselves in a difficult position.
Very.
Because they don't give it him or offer it him, the kick it out brigade will be out in force. They've already started. Because, I'm a great believer in giving the best man for the job, whatever colour he is. Give the best. I don't like the Rooney rule. Give the best man for the job.
And that's the worst thing about it.
Because he is at the moment the best man.
The whole thing around the Rooney rule is that people have felt that it had to be introduced,
almost forcing somebody to consider.
And I hate that, really, because
would you like to be, seriously now? And this is, I've known you long enough to speak like this. Would you like to be given a job because you're black, or because you're the best?
I wouldn't even want it to
be
considered.
Because you're the best.
Because you're the best. I wouldn't even want it. If nobody has to say anything about race or colour or anything,
don't matter.
That's the best thing.
That's what I'm saying.
The best thing,
we haven't brought it up with Darren because Darren's record speaks for itself.
Exactly.
He could be
He's
Chinese, Iranian, but as it is, he's a Brummie. The fact that he's black is neither here nor there.
No.
He's earned
because
the right.
Because he's down there in black and white what he's done.
What he's done, what he's achieved. And do you know what it is? You've been on a coaching course this week, haven't you? To get your badges and all the rest of it. What was that? Do you ever see Blazing Saddles? Badges, badges, who wants badges?
I thought he was going to go on about the scene around the fire then.
but it is about badges and all that nonsense. For me, I don't know whether Darren's a good coach or not, but I'll tell you what he is. The players respect him, trust him, and want to play for him. How important is that in the game?
Well, at the end of the day, Tom, he's got a tune out of those players that he's dealing with.
Correct.
There's been plenty of times I've seen other managers in the exact same situation get a tune out of the players. Craig Shakespeare being one.
Yeah.
He's got a tune out the players.
Yep.
Then next season, it all goes downhill for some reason. And now he's out of a job.
Yep.
So you have to be careful.
They did sell some good players as well, by the way.
Well, they did, yeah. But, they gave him the job on his merits.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it didn't work further on down the line. So, they've got to, if they give the job to Moro, they've got to give him all the tools to do it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And not give him the job with his hands tied behind his back, like a lot of managers.
But you mentioned there Dean Smith with him as his assistant. I don't know any manager would take that job because the first couple of games you lose, they're chanting Moro, Moro, right? I think that's difficult for Darren and any manager that comes in.
Plus, Tom, that you as a manager, you've got somebody in your backroom staff who fancies being the manager.
And
do you know what I mean?
And has proved that he can do it.
Yeah.
Unless I think the question Tal said is, does Moro ultimately want it? And I think if he come forward and
he hasn't said he doesn't.
But this is the thing: if he's saying to the board or whoever's in charge that I want the job, then there's not much else they can really say to him. But okay. But if Moro's saying, well, I think it's best you bring someone else in, then fair enough. And you know, I think Moro, knowing him how long we do, he'd come out and say that.
Tell me why, then. You know him. I know him well. Tell me why he wouldn't want the job. Why wouldn't he want it?
I don't know whether he wants to be a manager,
But
to
tell
be
me
honest.
why wouldn't he want to be? Why is he in
Not
the-
every coach wants to be a manager, though, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking to be a coach at the moment. Would you want to be a manager?
The one thing
It's two totally different things.
100%, and it tells it the nail on the head. What I've learned, especially over this last year, just doing the coaching side of it and doing my badges, they are so different. If you're
Especially
passionate,
nowadays.
yeah, if you're passionate about being a coach, developing players, helping players, management is completely different. You know, I think you can be both.
You can have an input.
Yeah, you can be both. Like
Because you
Pep or-
dictate how you're going to play, can't
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So Pochettino, Pep, they're
Brian
coaches
Moore-
and managers.
Brian
So
Moore, what am I on about? Brian Clough never coached a team in his life.
No.
yeah,
No.
that's what I'm saying. He was a good manager. So I think it's where Moro sees himself. Is he, does he want to do both?
For
Then
me,
fair enough. But
for me, the key to this business, because with all due respect to you and your mates, right? Footballers are horrible. Footballers are horrible. They will get
It's not
you.
my fault.
They will get you the sack. Chairman don't sack
But
managers.
that's what I'm saying.
Players get managers the sack.
Oh, it's not my fault. Manager.
Absolutely. Players get managers the sack. I'm not saying all of them are like that, by the way, but players get managers the sack. So, but these players have shown they respect him, they trust him, they like him, they run through a wall for him. Now, that's more important than you having a badge. Do you not think?
But
Yeah, for sure.
how many are actually going to stay, Tom? This is, again, going back to Tales's point. What tools is he going to have for next season? You know, how many of them players in that current squad?
Well,
are
maybe
gonna be
that's the
there,
conversations
or-
going on. Who knows?
So yeah, I think Moro is probably in a mindset now that if he wants the job, great. But what am I going to get with that? What am I going to be able to give him the best possible chance to succeed?
Have a look at some comments that we had from social media about this very subject, about Darren Moore being the next Albion manager. We should have some comments. Waiting for them. Oh, well, there you go. They'll be up soon, I'm sure. Would you give it him?
Yes.
Would you?
Yeah. I'd give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
Give him a chance because he's proved.
He's earned it.
proved himself.
Earned it.
Yeah.
Earned it, yeah.
Absolutely. But if, as you say, if he comes out now and says, look, I don't want the job, then that's a whole
fair.
new ballpark.
Of course it
That's
is.
fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
That's a whole new ballpark. But I think for any manager then coming in, with him in the background, makes it ever so
But that's the worst thing about it, really, Tom, is that.
Roger Moore is such a good lad; he wouldn't do anything to upset anybody's apple.
But that's
cart,
it. If he doesn't want it, he could end up out of a job. Because the new manager that comes in might not want him as part of the
as
team.
a coaching staff.
Do you know what I mean?
But then I think that's just, that's for the new manager coming in. If they got rid of Moro completely, I just think that's you
You'd
basically
start on the wrong foot
You're starting
then,
on,
wouldn't you? Yeah.
on the massively on the wrong
If
foot.
you don't
so-
win the first game, you're in trouble. Then
Yeah.
But Moro's, again, he's the type of guy. He'd whatever role he was given, he'd take that and do his absolute best. So, and he'd support whoever the new manager was coming in. That's the type of guy he is. But he's a true professional.
that's the key, isn't it? And he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
And and this is what I'm talking about: motivation. When you can get players don't really need at the top level. They don't need much coaching. They need organising. They need a few. This is what we're doing because that's their strength. Do they need coaching like you do academies? No. But what
Not
they
at
need,
that level.
what they need is
organisation.
they need a leader of men, and Darren Moore is a leader of men. That for me is
Sometimes it's
important.
just recognising what players are good at, isn't it?
Yeah.
And putting players
Their
in the right
attributes, yeah.
places that suit them, and
Yes.
into the right formation that suits them.
Absolutely.
And making them, I know it's a cliche, but making them feel comfortable, putting them arm round them, and
But
all
you
that.
see some of
rubbish.
the top. Well, I say top players, but you see some very good players go to a club, and it don't happen for them.
No.
I always go about Torres when he went to.
Yeah, when
When
he
he
went
went to Chelsea,
because he was as hot as anything.
He was
for
literally, he
Liverpool.
couldn't do no wrong at Liverpool.
Yeah.
But you put players in, certain situations where it doesn't benefit them.
But I then wonder how much of that is because motivation, right? There's so much rubbish talked about motivation. Because, and we talked about this last week, I think, you can't motivate anybody. No person can motivate another. What you have to do is create the environment with them which they're motivated to do it themselves, because all motivation comes from within. So, from the way he was treated at Liverpool, maybe different to the way he was treated at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then you get then a negative impact, and he doesn't feel that he can do it, so he's not motivated to go out and do it for you.
Yeah. I think you have to basically manage players. You know,
Absolutely.
you're managing people, aren't you? You know, so
And some need more managing than others, don't they?
Yeah,
especially
100%.
especially the ones who come through academies. I mean, they
And that's when we go back to coaching. And it's great if you're a good coach, but you need to be able to manage the players
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I
now
mean?
that's the other thing, and that's probably the important thing, because if they're not on your side, no matter how good you are as a coach, you'll end up getting the sack.
Yeah.
You've got to get them on side. It's terrible to say. I remember one manager saying to me, "It's not my job to make players happy. It's their job to make me happy." That don't work now.
Not these days.
No.
Not these days.
It doesn't. Now you've got to make them happy. It's almost like, please go out and do it for me.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
The mentality's totally different, Tom.
Yeah.
Totally different. I think mentally, players are they're not as mentally strong.
Unless
as
you
they
get a
were
Paul
back in the
Robinson
day.
who's just quit. Players like Paul Robinson, yourself,
yeah.
they're different mentality.
Yeah.
And isn't it strange that I think a lot of that comes from academies?
Maybe so.
Academies.
Maybe so.
The technical side of it. And I speak to a lot of academy people, right? And some high-level people in academies who say to me, I'm not happy with everything in academies either. Or change it. But that mentality, that step up between under 19s, under 20s to the first team is massive.
Because you can look at like Pep's team now, Man City. They'd won the league. And they still wanted to get 100 goals.
Yeah.
They wanted 100 goals.
Mental.
You could see
Yeah.
by their celebrations on Saturday how much they wanted to get that 100 goals.
But that's all the way through the club.
Yeah.
Pep has come in and literally gone from top to
So
bottom.
it's a mindset.
Yeah, it's a club philosophy basically. This is the standard we play at. This is what we expect. And if you want to be successful here,
And if you
this
want to
is-
stay here,
yeah, this
that's
is what
we
you've got to.
expect.
Yeah.
But I love that winning mentality. That's why I don't accept, Coventry and Morecambe drawing because it was convenient. As a player, I couldn't want you to go out and do that. I don't want to go out and
No,
win it.
go out and win, yeah.
Wouldn't you?
I know.
Because do you not think you owe it to the rest of the league
And to your fans.
for the integrity of the game?
Well, I think if you heard Jurgen Klopp after his game yesterday, the quote he came out with, I thought was brilliant. He said they only needed a point, didn't they? And he said, I don't know how to play for a point. He said, for me, drawing's halfway to losing. I thought that was a great way of putting it. And it's just, you can see that's his mindset. You know, at the end of the day, Liverpool go out to win games of football. And he said, I don't know how to set up to
He has
get a
some
point.
minging excuses when they don't win.
You won't let that go, will you, Tom?
The groundsman should have watered the pitch. Albion didn't need the points. They should
You
have
had
played
some
differently.
excuses Saturday, Tom, by the
my
way.
da-
I'm just
by
gonna
the
throw
way,
that
let's
one
get
out
on
there.
to that. You will
time
have,
card?
you will,
Yeah, we're ready to go.
you will have read. You would have read all about the Nick Mole Cup, which was Solihull Moors, about a young man who tragically lost his life on a motorway. And Richard Beale, who did a great job.
Amazing job.
Organising 24 teams, and a lot of high-profile players as well turned up. And I managed a team with Richard Beale, with Paul Robinson, Stilian Petrov. By the way, what a player he is! By the way, who managed me? I didn't manage him. He told me, "I'm not coming off." Oh, fair enough. You stay on all you like. Dealey had a bowler who said, "I'll come off whenever you want me to." Nearly so
Did you
laid
just
back
put him in front of the goal?
That's it.
But we had Dennis Bailey played.
Oh, yeah.
What a trick! He has that shimmy. He left people for dead.
Dennis is still in
Yeah.
unbelievable shape.
He's
to be
50
fair
odd
to him.
now.
Yeah, fair play to him.
And who else? Oh, Jay Martin,
yeah.
who can't run, but he scores some good goals.
finish still,
Finished unbelievable. So we've gone unbeaten. We play the Moors coaches, right? We've murdered them. It was a 1-1 massacre.
Who scored for us, Tom?
can't
With his weaker foot.
I can't remember.
Was that you?
But
Scored me right foot. That's how good. that
Listen, Petrov's gone to the. You can't go in the. If you go in the area, it's a penalty. If the keeper comes out, it's a penalty. But you're allowed to go in the area if you shoot from outside, but momentum carries you over the line. The referee will allow it. Stilian Petrov has scored from a great goal from outside. Referee's gone. No goal. It was in the. Stilian went mental. I'm very sure. You'd have thought it was the Champions League final. He's gone absolutely mental, and he's right.
It was
'cause
a perfectly good goal.
It was a
Tom.
good
Oh,
goal.
man,
We would have
it was.
gone through unbeaten.
Would have.
And to be fair, they were looking at me on the same pitch as us. You must have been embarrassed to get a draw. Seriously, tell us the truth. Were you
Let's be
embarrassed?
honest, Tom. We made the final. They went out in the quarters. So
The quarters. I'm glad you mentioned
You
that.
went out in the quarters?
Can I just tell you, we're in the quarters and we're cruising 2-0. Cruising. Robbo comes
Took the foot
across.
off the gas, didn't
Paul Robinson comes across. clears a ball, no problem. Referee blows up for a penalty, says you were in the area. Now, Stillion's gone mental, but this time he's aided and abetted by Robbo's gone mental. And them two together can be mental. He was never in the area. That changed the game.
VAR, mate.
Within 2 minutes, he's given another penalty, which I think was justified, if I'm totally honest with you. Goes to extra time. Legs. They score a worldie.
Legs gone.
They score a worldie. Who's the big lad who played for Moors? Big tall lad. Anyway, scores a worldie in the last minute. So we're out. But without doubt, the judgment of everybody watching, you were the best team on the
Can I just say something?
anywhere near it.
Can I just make a statement as well? Tom didn't stay for any.
Oh, I went.
He's not.
Post-match interviews. He
No.
shot off. He
Gone.
was gone, literally.
Gone.
So he didn't
See.
even do it. He didn't have the respect to come and say.
So
it.
unsporting.
I didn't have any
like.
respect. I didn't care who won
So
it.
unsporting
No,
like.
because we were robbed.
Robbed.
We're robbed.
You still got to be sporting about it, Tom.
No, I'll be sporting the next day. I wasn't sporting that day. I went home.
He sounds like Klopp now.
Was he
doesn't
crying?
I'm not sure. I didn't see him after. So.
Tears in his eyes.
Anyway,
But-
we'll move on.
Are you still in the job, Tom, or are they?
Yeah, did you get the sack?
Vote
Did you get the
of
tin
confidence.
tass?
all the players were saying best manager I've ever played for. And
Got to the quarters.
I was off. But then they know circumstances. They want me to have a new contract.
That's all you can ask for, Tom. Talk about managing players.
Yeah, managing players.
You've
I
got
managed
that
them
down to a T.
I got them down. They did ever so well. They ignored me. We'll move on. Let's move on now. Did we get those? We didn't get those quotes, did we, about Darren Moore? Comments from people about Darren
No,
Moore?
we didn't.
We didn't, no, okay.
No, we didn't.
Sure, they were glowing comments anyway.
Let's now move on to the player of the year at your various clubs. Wolves. Player of the year at
Poor.
Wolves.
Neves, yeah, I think.
Yeah, you can't go. You can't look past Neves.
You are so
Me personally,
typical.
love.
No, don't start all that.
Love
But
Connor
you've just
Cody.
said Neves.
Love Connor
You've just
Cody.
said Neves.
Love Connor Cody.
I asked you a question. You said Neves. There you
Yeah, you
changed your
can't
mind.
look past him, can you?
yeah.
Really?
Why can't you?
Because that
Is
is
he always
the
the-
obvious choice.
is he
He
always
has
the best
been-
player?
He has been the best.
Is he
player.
always the best player?
Of course he is. You just asked for the best.
he was the league's best player as well, wasn't he? Being voted for. So
To be fair, Neves was head and shoulders probably the best player in the league,
yeah,
to be fair.
yeah.
But I have to say, and I said it, I think last week, Connor Cody, for me, has been amazing for Wolves.
I think there's
and
been a
Matt
few.
Doherty.
Yeah, I think there's been a few. And I think that's helped Neves as a central midfield player. When you've got players behind you like Cody, you've got Doherty and everyone,
And
playing
Douglas
their
on the
part,
other
Douglas
side.
the other side. It makes it so much easier to go and play and enjoy it and express yourself. So, Neves will get the plaudits, but I mean, I think, he owes a lot to, like you say, Connor Cody and your Doherty.
He's a top player, though, Neves, isn't he? And he will not be out of place in the Premier League.
No.
No, it'd be interesting actually to see.
It won't be quite so easy for him
No, I know.
because he's up against the very best.
Yeah.
But this now will be, I think, for him in development in English football, great to play a tough league, like the Championship, to prepare him for the Premier League.
Yeah.
Because if he'd gone straight in the Premier League, he might have struggled a bit because the players
Yeah,
around him
yeah.
were great. I think it's been great for him.
Toughened him up, yeah. Probably
Yeah.
a couple of them Wolves players, yeah.
Yeah, it has actually helped
In a
them.
funny way, sometimes it's a bit easier when you go
Yeah.
the division. You get more time.
You get more
time.
time in the
Yeah,
Premier
yeah.
League, that's for
You
sure.
just get punished more.
You get-
for
Clinical
mistakes.
finishing is probably the
Yeah.
biggest difference between
Yeah.
the Championship and the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clinical finishing, because they do punish you. in the
But
Premier
yeah, I
League.
spoke to some Wolves fans the other day, and I said, you look at Huddersfield, you look at Brighton, Burnley, and you look at where Wolves are right now. They're going to spend some money.
They will
I think
spend
they're-
as well.
I think they're going to be in real good shape. Going
Well, all
into
the teams that
Premier
went
League.
up stayed up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which is unusual. So you've got, I mean, if Wolves finish in the top 10, I think that's a great start to their Premier League life.
Amazing. Top half.
I think
yeah.
even if they just stay in division, I think they'll be happy.
Nuno won't.
I know he won't, but
I think he
the
wants.
object is to just stay in there. Isn't
I've
it?
looked at them, and I think they'll definitely be
I think for me they're better than the likes of Huddersfield and
Yeah.
and teams like that.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only those, but some of the others. I think they'll give Burnley a tough time, the way they play. Burnley were really strong, weren't they?
Yeah.
Didn't give a
I,
lot
I
away.
do think outside the top 7 or 8,
Probably
it's
outside
not
the
a
top
great
6.
league.
Outside the top 6.
Not a great league.
Let's have a look at some comments from Wolves fans about Player of the Year. Here we go. David Hadley, so many to choose from. Yes, all the Portuguese players have been great, but then Barry Douglas has been outstanding. Matt Doherty has had a great season, but for a central midfielder that's moved into defender, my vote, Connor Cody, which is what we were saying, weren't we?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Paul Bradnick says, Neves is sublime, but for me it's Cody, considering he came as a right-sided midfielder, then went to centre-half sweeper. By the way, also played right back. Graham Doomney says, Neves, but most improved Cody. He's impressed a lot of people, Cody, hasn't he? Yeah. Ian Graham says, Albion fan here. I know I'm not wanted. On a serious note, a player of the season at Wolves is seriously hard. A solid midfielder, a forward line who can scare the bejesus out of most teams, and a defence that's tighter than Tom's wallet.
I told you it was your alarm.
You deserve what you got, Wolves. Get up there and enjoy it.
I like that,
said,
Ian.
Well said.
Good tweet, that.
Well said, yeah. Great tweet of the night. Well done. So we're going for Neves as the outstanding player, but you got to mention Cody for distinction.
Yeah.
Told you, Tom, he had a good agent once.
Who? Neves. Oh, Cody, you were his agent.
Yes, I was.
You're claiming all the credit.
Yes.
He put in the groundwork, the foundation.
Does he use your headphones?
Yes.
It's funny. I was out at an event with Paul Gascoigne at Bar Sports. Now there was him and Bully on the top table. That took some understanding. There were subtitles and everything coming up. But they played together for England, didn't they? And Bully was saying, he wouldn't pass to me. He wouldn't pass to me. I passed once and he scored. But it was interesting to hear them talk about the game then. There seemed to be more players playing with a smile then, if that made sense.
Yeah. Personalities, Tom. There were more personalities back then.
Yeah, personalities is probably the best way to describe it. Good players. I mean, listen, Gascoigne was a top player, wasn't he? Looney Tune.
Yeah.
No question. Looney Tune, but a top player. I mean, the things he got up to, the dentist chair,
But again,
the ostrich
Tom,
from the zoo. I mean, it was a total...
You look at all these stories for Gaza though. But imagine Gaza in this day and age with social media and phones.
Get locked up.
His career would be over before it even started. So you talk about playing with a smile on your face back then.
You could
have a laugh and do them
taking-
silly things off the field, knowing you wouldn't have any backlash for it.
He'd got a mate in a zoo, so he borrowed an ostrich of him and took it to training.
Bernie Clifton, did it?
took it to training. We never brought it back for 2 days, and his mate was going, "Where is it?" He said, "The gaffer don't fancy him." Brought him back. Absolute Looney Tune. But great fun. But as I say, listening to them talk, it was all about a smile. Bully did as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Bully was tough. Bully was tough to play against, but played with a smile, you know.
You could have more of a rapport with fans and everything. Back
And
then,
press and
couldn't
media,
you?
everybody
You know
did.
what I mean? Everybody.
But it was interesting. Player of the year at Aston Villa.
Chester.
For me, James Chester gets it for me as well.
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you want any reasons beyond it?
Oh, been doing your homework, have you? Yes, it would be nice.
No, he's been ever present, Tom. He's
Played
been-
every minute.
Has he played every
minute,
game?
Every game.
Yeah.
I think playing alongside John Terry
Has helped him
improved
immensely,
and helped him immensely. But you know, at the beginning of the season, he made one or two mistakes, but he's been so assured this season. He's been brilliant, really, really.
You knew he was going to be a solid signing. There might have been fans that really thinking, but
He struggled at first.
Yeah, he did,
But I
yeah.
think it was the partners he had alongside him didn't help him.
Yeah. But that's the thing with him. If he has a good, solid central defender alongside him and forms that partnership, he thrives. You know, I watched him a lot at Hull playing with Curtis, and you could just see, he's a solid player. Played in some big games in his career. So these playoff games and tomorrow night won't phase him.
He's not big for a centre half, though, is he?
No, not
But
at all.
that shows you he's clever. He's clever with it. He defend. You see him, he gets goals as well. So I mean,
Yeah, he's got
in the
one or two
opposition
important
box,
ones.
so-
Massive, good headers as well. And
clever and times he's
he heads it
jumped
and
well.
kicks it, doesn't he? I'm not being rude. He heads it and kicks it, and he's what John Terry needs. Everybody says what John Terry's done for him. He's the legs for John Terry, by the way, at times.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Neither of them are lightning quick, but they're just.
Some know-how.
They've got the know-how,
Brains,
Tom.
yeah.
Got the brains, and they know.
I mean,
what
to be
positions
fair,
to be in.
it had to be good because I think Grealish has been outstanding as well.
Yeah, I think once he got over his injury earlier on in the season, he's shown.
Steve Bruce gets credit for this, because he's changed the kids'
What
mentality.
about Adoma? Would he not be in
He's got,
Minnesota?
he's got loads of goals,
Yeah,
Adoma,
That's what I was thinking when
Earlier
Codger
part of
got
the
when
season.
Codger got injured. It was sort of right. Who's going to
Exactly.
get
yeah.
the goals? And he got some. He
I
got a
thought,
few
if
at
you're
that
my
time, didn't he?
opinion, watching the game, I thought Codger was a disgrace when he came on the other day. Absolute disgrace.
Let's just say he wasn't great.
Oh, of course, you're an ambassador for the
And leave
club.
it there.
Well, let's say he wasn't great. And do you know what
He
I
stood
loved?
out, though, because all the others put a right
What I
good shift
loved.
in. And Conor Hourihane told him.
I was going to say what I loved was Conor Hourihane got right into it.
And why not?
Because he didn't think he was working hard enough, and he gave him a proper.
Have you been in dressing
telling
room where that happened?
Yeah,
You must
I've
have been. And you?
had people up the wall.
Yeah.
The scruff of the
Any
neck.
danger of you doing anything for us?
I've seen fights and everything, Tom.
Well,
and I think you need that sometimes.
Yeah, you need that mentality, that winning mentality, because one weak link could see Middlesbrough win the game. Now,
Yeah.
the one thing about Codger is he could always nick a winner for you, can't he?
Exactly. He's that type of player.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that Conor did that, and because at the end of the day, it's Conor's career as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Codger not running in the channels for
Yeah.
cost him.
Conor.
Yeah, it could cost him,
It could
yeah.
cost Conor his career.
Absolutely.
Because he wants to play in the Premier League.
So I know he's a fan's favourite, but no matter who you are, you have to graft.
So
There's
given.
another side of the game.
Given.
They call it the ugly side, but everybody has to play a part. But he can nick you a goal out of nothing,
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
He can. Oh, he hasn't scored for a while, has he?
He's not. He's had his injury probably. He's not been the same since he
To
come
be
back
fair,
after his injury.
before
to be
his
honest.
injury, he was absolutely dynamite.
He was
from
good.
the goal,
But
wasn't he?
he's struggled since he's come back.
Let's have a look at some comments on Villa's player of the season. Kevin Mulvey says, Tom, you shouldn't be asking this question until Villa's season is over. Come back
good
next
point.
Tuesday. No, it isn't. Don't
good
be so
point.
stupid.
Good point.
Let me make the point. Hang on. So, for 46 games, sorry, 47, if you include the first leg of the semi-final, Ian Taylor, have been magnificent.
Yes.
So it's all going to come down to one game. Nonsense.
No, but it carries on, doesn't it?
Nonsense. No, nonsense.
You can cement
nonsense.
it.
Nonsense. You cannot have...
You can cement being your player of the season.
Maybe you can, but it ain't going to change it. You can't be... For example,
He sent the five-a-side the other day.
you've just mentioned Codger there.
Yes.
So Codger scores the winner
Yeah.
Tuesday night against Middlesbrough. Don't make him the player of the season.
Of course it doesn't.
I
So
think
why wait till
I
after
didn't mean
that?
it in that way.
if you've got a couple that are neck and neck, so you could
Yeah,
say
it
maybe
can make the
Chester,
difference.
Adoma
That's
in that
different.
list,
That's
and you think,
different.
well,
But there's nobody neck and neck. Chester scooped the pool,
Yeah,
didn't he, at the Player of the Year awards? So Kevin, hard luck. Sean Gardiner says Chester, Terry, Hourihane, Adoma, Snoddy, Johnston, and Hutton have all been superb all season. Grealish, Bicker, be honest, and that is Grabban, Davis, Jedit, have all done really well considering they've played part of season. Hogan, Lansbury, Elmo, Taylor have all massively underachieved. Oh, you've got the blame there, Tails. And need to step up. So far, if we go up or down, I think them lads need to go. Well, you've mentioned everybody there, Sean. What part of who's your player of the season don't you get? Sean, I mean, he sums up a lot there, but I think Chester, he mentioned Chester first, obviously, on his mind.
yeah.
So, Sean, and Tom Davis says Chester has been the best over 46 games, and I think nobody would disagree with that, would they?
No.
And he's a good lad as well, by the way.
Great lad.
Yeah.
Good lad as well.
great pro, yeah.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. So that's Villa. Chester, we're all agreed. Birmingham City Player of the Year. Tels, go and have a cup
I
of
wouldn't
tea.
know.
You wouldn't know.
No.
Didn't you see anybody that weakened up Fulham for the playoffs for you?
I didn't watch it. I saw the goals, obviously.
You wouldn't have that Odoi, would you? The centre half for Fulham. Did you watch the goal?
Yeah.
When Che Adams went past him, he thought,
Gave
oh, well,
up.
that's it. Get the deck chair out, just sit here and wait. By the way, I haven't had my money back. They were hiding deck chairs in the Wolves penalty area at Sunderland. The last game of the
Oh,
season.
dear.
So, Birmingham City Player of the Year cards. I'll start with you.
I think he's cleaned up like Chester did. I think Magoma over the season. I mean, for me, he can be a match winner. You know, there's times when you just really get frustrated with him, but ultimately, especially towards the last 5 or 6 games, he was key. When Gary Monk came in, and he's been through it all. Like you say, there's been a lot of players that have passed through Wastills this year and St Andrews, and for him to have sort of been there all the way through it, and like I say, come good towards the end in key games, I think they definitely got it right.
I thought Harley Dean was excellent. as
Harley
well.
Dean, yeah.
And Maxime Collin.
Yeah, like I say, there's been people have been there and have been close, but I'm a big fan of Harley Dean. I think he's, again, stepped up when we needed him right at the end. He's a leader as well. I think he's a real good choice for captain. But yeah, I think the three you mentioned there, Maxime Collins as well, he really did, impress me over the season anyway.
And over 9 games, Wes Harding stepped up to the plate, hasn't he?
Wes was, and it's great, for the academy as well to see, the next one coming through. And I was at Bolton.
By the way, Steve Cottrell said we got no right backs at the club.
Well, there you go. But I watched him at Bolton, and I mean, I knew Wes from a few years and speaking to Richie Beirlin, with the 23s, and I seen him at Bolton his first sort of game that I seen him for 90 minutes, and he looked like he'd been playing 200, 300 league games.
Well, I've got to
he looked
say,
so composed.
against Fulham, I think it was Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Lazio all turned up to watch Sessegnon. He saw him off.
Yeah,
absolutely seen him off.
exactly. And
a bit like Hutton did with Trent.
Yeah. Good thing about that is though, Gary Monk's come in, and he wasn't afraid to look at the
exactly, yeah.
That's
at
important,
the
isn't it?
academy.
Yeah.
Courage.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having courage to play young players, and a lot of managers, that's what does my head in
That's-
about the game sometimes. Is that you've got an academy. What's it for?
Well, Steve Bruce done that with me. He didn't have to throw me in when he did. In January.
We have forgiven him.
Yeah. But no, it's like you say, it was a local derby,
Yeah.
West Brom away.
He threw you in, didn't
threw
he?
me in for my debut.
Yeah.
So, when managers do that, and you see that, the young lads then come
What's
through
that
and
like
get the rewards.
when you get the nod?
For me, it was a shock because I'd sort of been in the squads under Trevor, never made the bench, and then literally, obviously, Steve came in and he sort of got the message out to my family that I'd be starting. I didn't know until in the dressing room. So it was great. I just remember the looks on some of the lads' faces in the dressing room. They were just absolutely buzzing for me. And,
Were they?
And you could just see.
It's important that they help you, isn't it?
Grange and
you had
Michael
some right
Johnson,
characters there,
Percy,
then.
but that's it. They literally looked at me and was like, and all of a sudden you felt accepted, and it wasn't sort of like, oh, should I be here? It was like, okay,
And that is the biggest thing, isn't it? Thinking that you should be there. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing that you have to come over.
It's not a stop to
exactly.
me. I'm not getting a game because the season's over. The manager's picked me because he thinks I'm the best
trusts
one.
you, yeah.
That was, and you had some right characters there, though, Grange.
Oh, I said that was the best upbringing I could possibly have as a young player, to have them guys. And you
I
talk
bet they
about.
weren't frightened to tell you. Either.
I mean, on the training field, I thought some of them disliked me at times, but as soon as you stepped off that training field, they were your best pals, and it was just, and straight away, literally from the first few sessions I had with them, I knew, right, I've got to be bang on it. These guys want to win. You talk about winners and wanting to win games, and even in training, you knew you couldn't have
the
a
step
day
up
off.
was important for you, but you were ready for it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
treated
they prepared me for it, in training as well, in games, and I knew that I had to be at my very best, or they were giving it me, both barrels.
Amazing that to think, isn't it? And then the rest is history, because that faith that the manager showed is key, isn't it? That's all you want from a manager is they will do anything for it.
As a young player, especially,
Yeah.
we've had it at Villa with Keenan Davis,
Yeah.
O'Hare, where they've been on the fringes, but he's trusted
Andre
them.
Green.
Yeah, Andre Green, but he's put them in and he's trusted them. Do you know what I mean? So you can't ask for anything more
No.
as a young player from a manager.
So let's. So we're going for
I think Magoma, but like you say, Harley Dean as well, definitely in with the
Harley
shout.
Dean. Harley Dean, I thought was great. Wes has been super for me. It was just. I mean, I like to see the young kids do well.
Yeah.
And had he played a lot more than 9 games,
Oh,
we might have been talking about him as
100%, yeah.
player. He was the young player of the year
Yeah.
at the awards anyway, which
Yeah.
was which you
Deserved.
You
Yeah,
weren't at,
hugely
were you?
deserved. I wasn't. No, you didn't invite me to.
I'd have got you a ticket. and the lads were great with you as well with the penalty.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Like I say, they were genuinely.
I was the only one that
delighted
wasn't.
for me. I know. Yeah.
I'm looking, going, letting a kid take that. You do.
You've heard his commentary. Yeah, he goes quiet. Broads does all the commentary. Tom goes quiet because he's thinking, oh no.
Young 17-year-old.
Didn't trust you, mate. Didn't trust
I've told you, Tom. You could hear the like a bit of a gasp. That I don't think anyone expected me to stride
The
forward.
worst I've ever seen with penalties, though, was Chrissy Holland. Do you remember the penalty shootout?
I was there, yeah.
Chrissy Holland, the manager, sent the keeper up before him in a penalty shootout. Kevin Poole
What
scored.
a penalty, though, by the
What
way.
about
from Poole.
Kevin Poole
Yeah.
scored a great penalty. Send it up before Chrissy Holland. So that's what I always tell, Mark Sales at Derby now on the bench as a coach. We got a goalkeeper scored more goals than him in the league. He was a striker.
But the thing was, he was a technically good player, Chris Holland.
Oh, Chris Holland was a great player.
Probably just didn't fancy it, did
That's
he?
it. It was, again, it's just
Sometimes
about
How important is that?
confidence.
The penalties.
Yeah.
Because they tell me, I mean, you can go up to Billesley Common now and score 9 out of 10. But, 80,000 people at the Millennium. That goal must have shrunk.
You can't replicate.
And the goalkeeper must have
that.
got much wider than you ever thought.
You got the fans, you got cameras, and flashing.
And if you score,
Yeah.
they're up. If you don't, they're probably going to beat you up.
Yeah. I wouldn't have gone in the change room, Tom. I'd have gone straight home.
You'd have stayed talking to me for about 3 hours. but the one thing you've used the word mental ability and a mental strength. That's what you showed, mental strength, taking that penalty, didn't he?
Yeah.
To do it. Because I've known players that have walked away from it.
Seen plenty.
He said, Don Givens was telling me, I forget where he was it Sheffield United? It might have been Sheffield United. And the chairman had promised them a holiday for them and their families in Mexico if they stayed up. Right. There's a penalty in the last minute. He said, Don said, I picked the ball up, I looked round, there's nobody by me. The only one with the ball. And he missed.
Oh, no.
He said, the players' wives wouldn't speak to him for about 6 months. But that pressure to score that penalty.
I think you've got to clear your mind. It's harder than it, it's harder
Just to clear your
saying
mind.
it, but yeah, you have to clear. If you start thinking things, that's when it starts becoming very difficult.
So Montgomery is what we've gone for. Moving on to West Brom. This is a tough one. Oh, sorry, did we have a look at the Blues? Did we have a look at the Blues comments? No, we didn't. Let's have a look at the Blues comments. First half of the season, Mags couldn't beat an egg or cross his legs. Paul Gugarius says, Magoma by a mile, Grounds would have been a close second before he was injured. Bobby Campbell, Mags, Harding, if he played the whole season, which is what I've just said, how he finished it. We got a gem there. Colleen has been brilliant too, as was Dean towards the end. Otter ended twice the player he was under Cotter, all down to Monk. Gio Berkey says, Magoma has been good recently, but this player of the season, not the best performance recently. Can't believe Colin is going unnoticed. He's defo been the best. Good player, Colin, isn't he?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Comfortable. And remember, he's playing on the left when he's a right-sider.
Yeah.
And he's been looking really good.
Very assured, yeah.
That's assured. Comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
And you know how important it is to have players who are comfortable with the ball at the feet.
But I think Grounds
one or
is
two
another one.
I could mention. I won't mention the names. It's very embarrassing. Who can trap it further than not and kick it?
Who are you talking about?
Never mind. No, not you. Well, actually, no. To be fair, it does cover you. So that was Birmingham City Mags. Moving on to West Brom. This is a really tough one for me because they've had a disastrous season.
Yeah. I know.
But one stood out for me in the games I saw, and that was Craig Dawson. Playing at right back.
Yeah.
He's a centre half per trade, playing at right back. Johnny Evans, earlier in the season, always looked a good player. Towards the end, I wonder whether he was thinking about moving away.
Well, there's a lot going on with him.
Chris Brunt always
I was going to
gives
say
everything.
Chris Brunt,
great left foot. And I thought when they started playing him Darren played him in the middle,
Yeah.
he looked a better player.
Yeah.
Because he can ping it. He's got a wonderful left foot, hasn't he? So he can ping it. Apart from that, Rondon works, but he's not a goal scorer for me.
I got Agazi impressed me. He impressed me in certain games, Tom, because I think he's
He's a bit rash.
He's
Oh,
but the thing,
my
the thing
God.
with
Sure,
him,
seriously, are you sure?
I think
Are
he gives
you
you
sure?
he gives you everything. Yeah, I think he's a threat in both boxes.
He's a threat to Albion.
I
He's
wouldn't
a threat
agree,
to other
Tom.
players' legs.
I watch
isn't
it. He does get the odd goal, and let me tell you, his marking at set pieces can be atrocious. I've watched every single goal Albion have scored and had scored against them this year. I think he's poor at that defending.
But I can't think you can't single just the one player out, Tom. I think
Here we go.
like you say, it's a
That's what's called in the business. That's a coaching term which he's learnt this week. Reverse game.
it's a collective thing, Tom.
No, you're right. No, it is a collective. I
yeah.
get that. It's a collective thing. You know, one player's not responsible for defeats. It is collective. But there comes a time in the game when it's your responsibility
you have
to
to take
deal
ownership,
with.
yeah, of
Take
course.
ownership
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
situation. You've got to deal with it. I think he's let them down, in my view. You know, I can't. That's only as I see it, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that's my opinion. But Craig Dawson, Chris Brunt, and Rondon runs himself into the ground.
Yeah.
They've missed James Morrison for me. I think.
I think so.
What a player he
Big
is.
time,
They've missed James Morrison.
Big time.
I can't think of anybody who stands out that would. Would
You know,
even
it's been a
qualify.
disappointment for me, Rodriguez.
Well, he's been. Did he finish top scorer? He might have done.
Yeah,
But-
I think it's just the way he's been utilised. I think.
Yeah, I know.
He hasn't been at the top end of the pitch enough. It's
I
more
wonder whether
every game
he-
I've watched him,
yeah.
he's been tracking and doing so much work going the other way.
I
It's-
wonder whether he's the sort of player though that needs to be busy and play in an attacking sense.
Yeah.
Because he can play, can't he,
of course he
Rodriguez?
can.
And he can score goals, by the way. And, I mean, who's the other lad? Matty Phillips.
Yeah.
I always thought he was a great
Yeah,
player elsewhere, you know. But you just wonder how many of them have already thinking about next season, where they'll be.
It always happens, Tom. If you're a Premier League team and you know you've got players who have played in the Premier League for a fair few years,
They wanna stay there.
They want to stay in the Premier League. Simple as that. And you know it's just human nature that they're thinking, well, you know, I want to stay at the top level.
Yeah,
No, they don't.
often-
They don't. They want to earn the top level money.
Yeah, more often than not, they forget that they've got to play well.
Yeah. They want to earn the top level money. That's what they want to do. Let's not make any bones about it. Because if somebody offered them twice their Premier League wages in the Championship, they'd be off on their bike tomorrow, as you well you know. Let's have a look at some comments about Albion then from the fans on social media. Let's have a look. Richard Hodgett says Solomon Rondon. The guy has struggled this season, especially in the solo striker role he was forced into for at least 50% of it, but he was always tried to give his all for the club and has been one of the few players to acknowledge both the fans' passion and their frustration. So, I mean, that's pretty much fair. We've got some others as well to look at. Some other comments. Leon Ray says, by a country mile, Craig Dawson, an unsung hero, a true professional with heart and desire amongst the lowest paid players, shows more passion and plays out of his skin week in, week out. I agree with that entirely. Oh, here's one we'd never thought of. James
Foster,
Hayward,
yeah.
Ben Foster by a street. No outfield player who has consistently performed across the whole season. Brunton Rodriguez invariably under trying circumstances. Dawson has been the standout from our back line, but that isn't saying much. Ben Foster, of course,
Yeah.
because he's been kept busy, hasn't he?
Yeah,
To be
he has.
fair.
Yeah.
He has been kept
I'd like to
busy.
see stats on how many saves he's actually
He's had to
made
make,
this
because he
year,
does
yeah.
make some great saves,
Yeah, he
doesn't he,
does.
Ben?
Yeah.
I forgot about Ben, never thought about it. But for me, I'd go Craig Dawson if I'm totally honest. Let's move on to Coventry City. Oh, we're out of time. Let's quickly, Coventry City. That's through you two, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough of them, Tom.
Well, for me, I think the man who makes a big difference is the skipper, Doyle, who's just come back.
Yeah,
He's had
yeah.
another spell at the club. Have a look at some of the comments, though. We've got a comment or two, because we're running out of time. Graham Williams, Mark McNulty, there's one. He collected all the awards at Coventry's end of season awards. Supporters Player Golden Boot, 2 from the junior fans within the club, all rightly deserved. Tom Bayliss, I doubt many would have thought he would play as many games as, but essential to the side. Massive future, hopefully, with Coventry City. Tom Bayliss he's on about. And Paul Ward says, Doyle, when he was out, we lost our way a bit. He's that orchestrated, a calming influence. Good player, Doyle's been. Middle of midfield.
Been a good player for a long time, hasn't
Yeah. Mark McNulty, though, he's collected them all from the club. And at Walsall, well, we're out of time, but Walsall, Otsuma, I think
Atsuma's got the goals.
He's got 15 goals. Without them goals, they'd have been
he?
relegated.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll stay.
That's the question we always pose with players that do well at Walsall.
Yeah.
So
Right, we're finishing. Villa Middlesbrough, score prediction.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Can you hear me, Mum?
1-0. 1-0 Villa.
2-0 on aggregate.
Yes.
Well,
What are you saying,
I'm going to
Tom?
upset all the... I just think Villa will win it 2-0 on the night. 3-0 on aggregate. I'm not so sure about the
So
final
they'll go
because
through.
it depends who's in it and the rest of it. But listen, Blues fans will be saying, da-di-da. Let me tell you, there isn't a Blues fan that wouldn't swap places with them. And I would.
course, yeah.
I wish we were in the playoffs. That's for sure. Guys, thanks very much indeed. You've
Cheers,
been
Tom.
average.
Cheers, Tom. As
You've
usual.
been below average.
Thanks very much indeed. Thanks very much indeed. We've got one more before the end of the season, and then we're back in August with a vengeance. Back in August every week, but we're just sorting out one or two things. Hope you've enjoyed it. From me and the guys, thanks for being with us. Thanks very much. See you guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Tom.